Hello, folks. Welcome to Taylor Times, the Taylor Times, the one and only. Today we're going to talk about the Grand Canyon National Park and what we think about it.
Yeah, so we are here to rate Grand Canyon National Park. Welcome to our channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. So if you're enjoying this series, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments, okay? So we're talking about Grand Canyon again, and it is located in
Arizona.
Grand Canyon, Arizona.
Yeah,
it's like
pretty much
what it is.
Yeah, so it's an hour or so north of Flagstaff, Arizona.
Yep, a little over an hour.
The South Rim, anyway.
Yes, that way. Okay, so that's where we entered in this from the South Rim. So what we do here is we rate our national parks with 5 categories. Well, 4 categories and then an overall rating. We do parking, friendliness, accessibility, animals, and then we give it an overall rating and anything else we can think that you may like to know briefly. All right, so also make sure you check out the video about Canyonlands, the review that we did on Canyonlands, because Canyonlands and Grand Canyon comparison video will be coming next, okay? All right, so number 1, parking.
I'd say there was plenty of parking. Obviously, it's one of the most visited parks in America, which brings me to the next thing. Pick your season wisely. So
that's with all parks, though.
This is true. This is with all parks. So yes, there was plenty of parking. However, I can see it being an issue if you went during the busy season. So we went in February. In the middle of the freezing cold blizzard situation that was heading wet from the west
storm
to the east. It was like -7 when we were, approaching. So that was absolutely crazy. We'll do another video on winter camping and how to, prepare yourself for that type of situation. But yeah, the parking, it was ample at that time, which is technically off season.
Yeah.
And this was also on the South Rim, as the North Rim seems to be closed in the wintertime.
Yep.
We can fact check that, but
it is,
sure
and we saw why when we came back like a couple weeks later.
Yeah.
It was still like icy, snowy.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
So, so for my spill about parking, there are shuttles. So you can take advantage of those shuttles when you park, and they run a very consistent, regular route that's easy to determine. Right now, the mask mandates in the national parks are being adhered to as of February, this 2022. And it was like, if you don't have on a mask, get off the shuttle.
Yeah.
You must. She is not leaving. So definitely take advantage of the shuttles if you want to just park and do that. But we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to accessibility too. Yep. So yeah, parking in different places, very adequate. Visitor center, very adequate if you are coming in there with your rig. It's also campgrounds in there that you can stay at, but it was not. We had at the time a 33-footer, and you need to be a little smaller than that, in our opinions, if you're going to stay in the campground.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to stay in the campground, that was not it's like an expensive one, and one that's not so expensive because it doesn't have like all the full hookups.
Right.
And we don't have to have all the full hookups because we're self-contained. Yeah. But in that campground where we would have been able to stay, the cutoff would be what, 28 feet, you think?
I'd say
comfortably?
26. You need to, don't even try to stay in the free one. Wasn't that one of the free ones?
It wasn't free. You have to pay, but it was not that expensive.
Well, it wasn't that expensive, but it was in there. We'll get you the names of these parks, but I don't
it'll be coming
recommend
below
going to the cheaper one because it's
But
very
the more
tight.
expensive one it was like what?
There's plenty.
It was very expensive though.
Oh yeah, it was like $80 a night.
Yeah. So, and I'll do a video on camping for free. We end up having a beautiful free camp spot like a mile down the road.
Land management, National Forest, and these places, it's awesome.
Tons of free.
In most places, it's awesome. We'll talk about
we'll talk about that later. All right. Category 2, friendliness.
Everybody seemed to be friendly.
Yep.
There was like a volunteer that was stalking us around the store. But other than that.
And the bus driver lady, the second bus driver lady.
Yeah, she was a little brash. But again, when you're dealing with hundreds and thousands of people a day, I mean, I get it.
But these were 2 people out of like 30
we saw
plus.
A ton of people. Ton of freaking people.
I mean, tons of people in the restaurants, in the gift shops, at the visitor centers, and everyone else was so nice. The park rangers were so amazing, dealing with the boys for the ranger badges. Everyone else was so amazing.
Everybody else wanted to be there.
They wanted to be there, and that's what we love to see. And we did attend a little speech where one of the park rangers talked about indigenous people. She gave a little class. She was great, and she is an indigenous descendant as well. But it was amazing. So everybody else was really nice. The other visitors there were really nice. We didn't have any problems with people like doing the most. So,
and
sometimes
to piggyback off of that, there are Native Americans who still live in the Grand Canyon, within it.
In there.
And they do guided tours and stuff like that. Now, for that, you need to be an experienced hiker.
And you have to get permitted for some of them as well.
Yeah. So just, if you're going to go that route, be careful and make sure you train your body.
And be prepared. Be prepared, yeah.
And never go alone. Or if you do want to risk that, you better let somebody know where you're at, because communications are zero within that canyon.
Yep. Okay. So, accessibility.
I'd say the accessibility for everything was good.
Yep. You could drive around this if you had like a Class B or Class C that's not like humongous, if you wanted to be in it.
I agree.
Using the shuttles is an option, but if you do, like I said before, if you have a disability, the shuttles were not friendly for like wheelchair accessibility or strollers, so you got to be able to like fold it up, hold it. Just think of kind of like New York bus subway situation is what I would think of. But you can still drive around in your own vehicle with whatever modifications that you need, and park in these various places. Get out, and it's lots of sidewalks where you can stroll, wheel, whatever. So it's very accessible in those terms.
Yeah, I think they did have plenty of handicap parking.
They had plenty.
So, you know, if everything else is
and parking for the rigs too.
Yeah, make sure you have your sticker or whatever you have.
Yeah, your placards. Yep. All right, so animals.
So
what was that we saw? Like going back to the visitor center, they were like chilling right there. Remember? Elk.
They have elk, regular deer.
We saw deer and elk.
They have bears at the north rim for sure. Man, there's, you name it. They got ravens.
Oh, the ravens are
East
everywhere.
Tennessee, you don't see them.
They're pretty cool. I will put some videos. We had like a couple of ravens like just following us, like from around, like sitting on the truck. They're not like in your face and like trying to peck and bother you, but they're there.
They're comfortable.
They're comfortable, but they're not aggressive. So but we did just see deer and elk, right? That's all we saw.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all we saw, and
we'll try to put a link in. Well, not a link, but we'll try to scroll across the screen some of the other animals that you have the potential to see.
Yep. All right. So overall rating of Grand Canyon National Park.
Mine is 4.5. It was an amazing experience.
Yep.
We watched the sunset. We literally rode around with our camping chairs in the back. We didn't, we weren't expecting to, but it was like, it seemed like a nice spot, and we're always out when it's, about to be sunset. So we were like, pull off with the kids and just chill on the side of this cliff.
So nice.
Check out this sunset.
Yep.
I don't think you'd be able to do that in the busy season.
No.
But, everywhere else, it was literally packed. This is off season, but some of these pull-offs during sunset is still packed.
Right.
So we found us a little spot, with the truck.
A little small pull-off, like a one little person, got off in there and got the
And we'll put in some pictures of that.
Yep, sure will. That's beautiful. That was beautiful.
And there was snow
it
still.
Was snow still.
Which I guess a lot of people don't get the opportunity to see the Grand Canyon in that form. But man, it was amazing. It shows you how small you are, so it makes you humble.
Yeah.
Should.
Yeah.
Unless you're got some other issues. I'm not gonna mention any.
We'll just leave it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the Grand Canyon National Park a 5. I absolutely fell in love with Grand Canyon National Park. I fell in love with it. It was hard to tear me away. I didn't want to leave and go on to the next destination. And that day that we were going to leave, like earlier, we left later and Michael took us back in, and it was like,
yeah, it was worth.
It was so worth like going and taking that extra look. Like you just stand there and you can just look, and like he said, it does really humble you because you see the vastness. It's like in some places as far as you could see, just like canyon, and you're like so little compared to all of that. And so it was just so peaceful and so beautiful. There's food within the park that is very decent. It's park priced.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But it's decent. It's good. We had pizza at that one place at one night. So you can eat there. Everything you need there. I loved Grand Canyon National Park. I will have to go back. So yeah, 5 for me. Make sure that you have the appropriate gear and clothing and whatever for whatever season you are going, for the potentiality of the weather changing, hot, cold, whatever, because it was very windy one day. So we had scarves, we had gloves. I always have extras in the camper.
First pull off that you get to before you get to the visitor center.
It's a part of the visitor center.
It is?
Yeah, but it's like before you get to the center, but it's like a sidewalk off of the visitor center.
That seemed to always be windy.
It was windy the whole time.
Bring your jacket. I don't know about in the summertime. Obviously, it gets hot. But, you know, this was still the winter.
Yeah, it was February.
It was, got chilly.
Yeah. So just be prepared.
On the side of that cliff.
And know which rim is open for where you can go, and how to get there, and what your situation is that you're driving. Make sure it can accommodate where you're going to be. Always check for that when you're taking a camper, travel trailer, whatever. Absolutely. So that's it for Grand Canyon National Park. In my heart, number 5. Well, not number 5, but 5 rating in my heart. All right. Anything else about GCNP?
No. We'll, like I said, we'll do another comparison we will do a comparison of Canyonland and the Grand Canyon.
Because it's both canyon situations.
Right, because a lot of people have questions about that type of thing. And which one should I hit both at the same time? And the answer will depend on how much time you have. All right.
Yeah. All right, that's it. Don't forget to like, comment, share the video with someone who may be interested in this type of content. Absolutely. And subscribe to support us in our endeavors. If you have any questions or anything else that you would like to see answered, place it in the comments below. We will read each and every comment. We thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next video. We are in the Grand Canyon National Park. Evan said he don't like the wind. It is quite windy. Quite beautiful.
And repeat after me. I promise
I promise
to learn all I can about the Grand Canyon
to learn all I can about the Grand Canyon
and other national parks,
and other national parks,
and to share my knowledge with other people.
and to share my knowledge with other people.
I promise to respect the planet Earth
I promise to respect the planet Earth,
and the resources of the people and the animals on it.
the resources of the people,
The resources
the resources of the people,
and the people
and the people,
and the animals
and the animals
on it.
on it.
And to pay attention to my mom and to be nice to my brother.
Yes.
Oh, they won't say that.
Right.
I tried. Anyway, you're now Junior Ranger.
Yay!